Uluru Rock, also known as Ayers Rock, is located nearly in the center of the continent, over 1,200 miles from the nearest major Australian city. This geological anomaly is one of the largest isolated rocks in the world. It is over 2 miles long and rises over 1,100 feet. It is, in fact, the exposed tip of a huge vertical slab of rock that continues below the surface for 3 miles.
It is a huge sedimentary boulder that's gigantic, sitting there in the middle of the desert. And geologists cannot really explain how Ayers Rock came to be. It's almost as if it was lifted up from somewhere else and brought to the center of the continent and then just dumped there.
For the indigenous population, Uluru is one of their most sacred sites and a place of pilgrimage. They consider it the navel of the earth.
For the Aboriginal cosmologies, a lot of times the landscape itself is sort of like the Bible and heaven rolled into one. So in places like Uluru, Ayers Rock, this rock has great significance because they built this into their cultural memories of when the world was formed by sky spirits coming to Earth.
The creation stories at Uluru Rock are primarily associated with the rainbow serpent. This divine being is said to have come out of the sky at the beginning of time and held in its belly all of creation, including the first human beings.
The rainbow serpent we call Guria, and the rainbow serpent is related to all Aboriginal nations right across Australia. And it connects us all as Aboriginal people because it was regarded as a very sacred symbol of creation.
An elder we're in contact with told us a story about Uluru, which is quite fascinating, that we were actually seeded from a spear from the Pleiades through space. And it actually hit the ground. And where that place was is Uluru. So Uluru in its creation story with the rainbow serpent could perhaps even be indicative of an ancient astronaut kind of seeding moment in our history.
Ancient astronaut theorists have long proposed that Earth was seeded by alien visitors in the remote past. Might this be true? And if so, do the Aboriginal stories reflect this truth?
When the first Europeans arrived here, Captain Phillip, who was an English sailor, planted the Union Jack in Sydney. And he asked Aboriginal people around that time, he said, "Where do you people come from?" And our people would always just point to the sky. He couldn't believe that such people who were grounded by Mother Earth say that they come from the sky world.
Might humans actually have been seeded on Earth from another planet, as the Aboriginal elders claim? And could this truth be encoded in the Australian landscape, preserved for future generations?
They got that knowledge. It boggles the mind.
We have been visited by extraterrestrials in the remote past.